Hello, my fabulous friends. Jackie Edwards here, formerly the Fabulously Fat Feminist. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is kind of why I've made the change recently in my branding. I am still fabulous. I'm still fat. I'm still a feminist. However, I felt like that name was really heavy and constricting. And I try to keep it really light and fun and colorful because that's what I do and that's just how I live my vibes. Um, but I feel like fat activism and feminism are both quite heavy topics, especially in today's society with the world events and all of the things going on around us. There's just so much shit happening. And I found that it was really, really bringing me down. And it was just making me focus so much on all the negative shit happening around there. Like I was constantly scrolling the news, um, scrolling Facebook for like the version of the news that showed me, which of course is all stuff that I love, very um, left, anti-fascist, feminist rants, but there's still had so much power behind them, keep bringing me down and showing me how much more there was to do and how far we are from equality and just how far much farther it's getting and how separate we are as people. And that's I think the biggest thing for me is that it was making me feel like I was on one side of a line and everybody else was on the other side of this line. And like that's what it does is all of the media out there, so much of the social media algorithms are there just to get clicks basically. And getting clicks is just being extreme and just keeping us all separated and divided, thinking my way is better than your way. If you don't think like me, there's something wrong. I can't be your friend. I just need to shout louder so that my opinions are heard more. And I don't want to do this. And I can't handle what that was doing for me personally every day. And of course, I have the privilege to be able to look away from that a bit more. I am white, I'm wealthy, I grew up in a middle class background where I was able to live in a small town and have a great education and just live pretty much all of those like all American values. Um, so while I am a woman and I am fat, I just don't have so much of the, oh, I just have so much privilege, basically. And that lets me have this place so I can step back and focus more on what brings me joy and what lights me up inside. And that's not to say there's not a place for that, but I'm taking that space now. So moving to be fearless after 40 has really opened me up and freed me to talk about all the different things I want to talk about. And all the things I feel more qualified to talk about because there are so many better fat activists than me. There are so many better feminists than me. And especially when you move into the intersectional world, like so many people are way better than me, more knowledgeable, more experienced, just better. And I felt like I was taking up space and just adding fluff where really the focus should be on these people that are so much better at it than me. So, but talking about being fearless after 40, this is my own experience. Like, I am living this every single day, and it encompasses all the things in my life from I just talked about like my iron supplementation and advocating for yourself with the doctors, and I can still talk about my feminism and how the patriarchy holds us back and all of the social structures in place as we age, as women, as our bodies change, because I'm going through all of that. And I can talk about it from my personal experience, which I am an expert at. And while all of our personal experiences are different, it's there. And my crazy brain loves to deep dive, hyper focus, research. I have so much information on everything that I've been going through and that I think I might go through and that maybe I'll go through and maybe I've already been through. So I am so excited to have a place to share that with where I feel more open and free and not as confined to, what my brain was telling me a feminist had to talk about or someone fat had to talk about. Um, and my brain was telling me I just wasn't good enough. And I could have fought through that because, of course, I am good enough. And of course, I have amazing things to say. But sometimes, well, that go get 'em spirit of like, just fight through and you can do anything you want is great. Sometimes it's okay to take an easier path. And sometimes it's okay to pivot and change and do what makes you feel freer and easier, not to the detriment of other people. There are so many caveats to that, but most of us are good, kind, loving, caring people that we're not out there trying to hurt other people. So, me saying, do what brings you joy and be free doesn't mean going out and slaughtering a bunch of people or pushing them down or being mean and hateful and all of those things. Um, it just means it's okay to center yourself and figure out what works for you and to change your mind. So I had been working as the Fabulously Fat Feminist for quite a few years. Like I built up quite a lot around it. Um, and I'd spent quite a bit on it in the brand. And it was a hard change to make because you think, oh, I'm quitting, I'm giving up. What are people going to think of me? Quitters never win. All of that old programming that we've got in there that basically tells us change is bad, change is wrong. We should pick something once and just always stick to it and never want to change. And I mean, it tells us that about everything in our life. Like when you go to college, university, you're supposed to pick one, subject when you're 17, 18, and that's what you're going to be studying and do for the rest of your life. And how many of us really stick with that? And if we do, is that really what we want? Or have we just been told that's what we're supposed to do? So we have all that stress about changing our mind there. And then getting into the workforce, we're supposed to have one job and that we stick with forever. I mean, I've changed so many times. And even in business, like I've had so many different businesses because I love to change. I love to grow. We are constantly growing. And relationships, they tell us, oh, once you get married, like that's forever. There's no chance of anything else. Never talk about divorce. You're in it. And that leads to so many just sad people that aren't living their lives to their fullest because they think they have to stay with this one person, even though, I mean, we all change as we grow. So even if you didn't get married in your like teens or 20s, um, I got married in my 30s. I still love my husband. We're doing great. But, or your 40s, you change and as you age, and maybe you change in different ways, and that is completely okay. It's completely okay, even with friends and, family relationships, to say, this is our journey. We've had a beautiful time. We are in different places now. We've changed. Our journeys are going a separate way now. And that is lovely and it can be beautiful. It doesn't have to be like this big drama filled craziness. But because of all the like social constructs they've put around it and all of the things they've taught us about, don't quit and relationships are hard and you have to work at it and, just keep working harder at your job and it'll get better and you can move up the ladder and all of those things teach us that change isn't okay. But our whole lives are full of change. And as we age, I think we can find ways to make that change easier, freer, more authentic, and really embrace it. And find ways that, yes, it can be hard, it can be painful, changing jobs, changing relationships, changing all those things. It's just because it's okay to do it doesn't make it easy and like not painful. But we can work with it. And when we accept ourselves and accept that change is okay, it just takes some of that shame and guilt away when we do make those changes. So, well, I've just been rambling for ages. So basically, that's where I'm at right now. I've decided to make that change. So my branding has changed from the Fabulously Fat Feminist to the Fearless After 40. I'm super excited about it. I'm still the same, again, fabulously fat feminist that I always was. But I'm also still Jackie. and I'm working my way through life. And now I'm over 40 and living my life and working through all the changes that that brings and the additional power and the additional wisdom and just all the gorgeous and difficult and just things that life throws at us. And I want to talk about all of them. So that's where we're at now. Again, I'm here on like my little mini solo escape, which I am putting together a beautiful blueprint template for you so you can have your own mini solo retreats and just really escape by yourself. And what I'm doing is I've got my journal and I've got some journal prompts and meditations, and I'm just spending time by myself in a like calm, beautiful setting to really start to uncover, what I want for myself in my, personal life, my business life, where I'm at now, where I've been, where I want to go, what I see, just all the things. And I love doing this on, a reasonably regular basis. It's not like a weekly thing. I'd say, at least every 6 months. It's nice to at least have that break, sit back, connect with yourself, just be alone. And for some of us, even just being alone, booking a hotel and coming by yourself is way outside of our comfort zone. And sometimes it's good to kind of push the edge of our boundaries and our comfort zone. So, anyways, I'm in my bathrobe. I just had a bath. So I've woken up this morning on my second day. I'm going to do some more journaling, finish my tea, and yeah, see what the day brings me. But hopefully, that's just giving you a little bit of information about where I've been, my background, my beliefs, my thoughts. Um, and yeah, hopefully you'll stay with me for this journey and we will create a beautiful next chapter for all of our lives.